So I do think that the Deathstroke is going to try and play the Zool. So I'm curious to see if Popochas will ban it. That being said, as far as heroes to watch out for Popochas on, they really, really like their Nazebo. And I think the Johanna will be a pretty big contested hero. Or maybe no, I don't think Deathstroke actually plays Johanna. Deathstroke, if I remember correctly, doesn't play that many traditional tanks. So they do ban the Nazebo from Tiome. That tends to be his go-to hero. Rhyme comment. Move face cam during draft covers that bottom. Oh yeah, I can move it. There you go. And they ban the stitches. I understand why that ban happens specifically because Deathstroke they don't really play a lot of tanks, and the stitches is just like it seems to be the thing they're most comfortable on, what they play the most. That being said, is it a first bannable hero? I don't know. Will this be the Zool? That's the question. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Luis. I appreciate Antonio. Alright, so they banned the Ana. I really think that they're gonna pick the Zool, or they might not first pick it because like maybe they want to pick another high priority hero, but I do think that they're gonna try and draft the Zool. Or I'm just crazy. Gul'dan, okay. Gul'dan he's an interesting pick on Dragonshire, right? Like he has good 1v1 potential, but he definitely can't solo against like a lot of the traditional 1v1 heroes that you see picked often, like, you know, Thrall and Leoric and stuff like that. So the Stukov coming out from Popochas, that's actually really interesting. I don't know, is Popochas a team that has played with Stukov in the past? I know Deathstroke has, but Popochas, I don't think they normally play that hero, so this might be just them picking it out from underneath Deathstroke. Deathstroke's on the left, by the way, in the blue, in case that wasn't clear, and Popochas on the right. So Dahaka, Tychus. So these are two of the heavy hitting heroes that you see a lot of times on Dragonshire. So still need a healer and a tank on the side of Deathstroke. And Popochas has a lot more flexibility with their draft, it looks like. Like the Diablo and the Stukov are pretty flexible heroes. They do have the Stukov heals to sustain through the Gul'dan poke, but it's probably not going to be enough to keep the higher health pool up like Diablo through the Tychus damage. Lucio getting banned out. Yeah, it seems like the tanks and healers are where Deathstroke's going to struggle here. They do have the global. They have solid poke with the Tychus and Gul'dan, especially on that big health pool from Diablo. Just wanted some rhyme ASMR. Dude, I'm rhyme in the Smash Bros community. Here I'm Eric with a K. Get it right, Antonio. So the Cassia ban. That does seem to be a hero they pick pretty often. Okay, Li Ming. This is another hero that I don't think Popochas has played that frequently. They are pulling out all the stops right now. Yeah, they have a few games on it, it looks like. They have played the Stukov in the past too, so It just isn't their most popular hero. So we got Brightwing and Nubrak, so double global for Deathstroke. A lot of good CC too, especially... and then the Rexar Zul'Jin for Popochas. So honestly, the early game I think belongs to Deathstroke. I think with the double global, Gul'dan's pretty strong level 1 hero. Tychus is a strong level 1 hero. Anub is a strong level 1 hero. They have a much better early game. It's going to take a while for Stukov to scale. He gets his root at 13. That being said, they do have a lot of pick potential with Li Ming and Zul'Jin, Rexar, Diablo. Like, both teams have a lot of CC, a lot of follow-up, good burst damage. But I do think that obviously the majority of this game is going to come down to how well Deathstroke can use the double global with Dahaka Brightwing. What's going on, dude?
Oh, no, she was getting dressed for the hike. Have you told him about how much of an avid gamer I am?
Different tag for Hotspot. You usually just have one universal tag. I mean, I guess like all my social media stuff has Eric with a K instead of rhymes, like my Twitter and my Twitch. So that's the majority of the reason, and it's also what my like Heroes Lounge profile is, which is how we play all these games. What organization we play them through. So I just wanted to keep it the same for HOTS. Alright. Here we go, Dragonshire. So for Los Popochas, we got Tiome on the Zul'Jin, Assassino on the Diablo, Ancient playing Li Ming, Kava on Stukov, and Bose Fijat. I'm not going to pretend like I know how to pronounce that name on the Rexar. And then on the other side, we got Dougie on the Tychus, Broski on the Gul'dan, Top Hat on the Nubrak, Antifreeze, who's the sub on the Dahaka, Dick Cheney on Brightwing. Alright. So it looks like Popochas are trying to maybe catch a rotation down bottom. They've already sent Rexar up to the top lane, so they're trying to catch this soak as fast as possible. It doesn't look like they want to fight level 1, even though they are positioned pretty aggressively. Rexar's still catching the soak up top. Gul'dan's getting his Echo Corruption stacks. And Brightwing's going down. So I think a big problem for Deathstroke this game is going to be the fact that they have this Dahaka Rexar matchup in the top lane. It's pretty much impossible for Dahaka to do anything against this matchup, and honestly doesn't have fast enough wave clear to not get pushed in by the Rexar. So they're going to have to make use of the global, otherwise that Dahaka is going to be a pretty worthless pick for them in the top lane. Both teams starting on their siege camps, getting those done as quickly as possible so that they can get that experience on their way to level 4. And already you can see that Popochas has both control points right now. Diablo maybe going a little bit too far, but they do get the DK for it. Somehow Zul'Jin managed to sneak his way up there, and they almost lose Diablo for it, but in the meantime, the DK is going to be hammering away at the mid lane. For some reason, Deathstroke is deciding to push bottom instead of defending the DK. I think this is maybe a mistake on their part. They do have the siege camp, but I don't think it's going to be enough siege to contest what the Dragon Knight's doing in the mid lane. Popochas starting to rotate up, meet up with their Dragon Knight. They've already taken the front wall. Assassino looking for a Brightwing, doesn't find it. And Nubrak's in a dangerous spot here. Diablo's getting out. Li Ming coming up for the flank. Alright, so with that DK, experience actually still remains the same. Deathstroke did a good job of making sure they were soaking all their lanes. Again, we got Popochas up here just doing nothing against Rexar. I mean, what can you do? But the EXP is still different. The only difference is this front wall on top lane. Or on the mid lane, excuse me. So Brightwing's going to go up and help Popochas. Oh no, going mid. And in the meantime, Nubrak almost gets picked. But he barely makes it out. 60 health. Unbelievable. And it looks like Popochas is maybe trying to do the bruiser camp on the bottom. Deathstroke being a little bit passive. They're just looking for a level 7. They're not trying to fight right now. Oh, and a pick. That might be a dead bear. No, he barely makes it out. So once Popochas gets his level 7 in Feeding Frenzy, that matchup should be a little bit easier. He's actually Hero Stalker. Interesting. That is a talent that I did not expect to see taken from Popochas. So both teams at level 7, picking our talents. Looks like pretty standard stuff from everyone. A Nubrak's in full W build. Popochas has started getting their camps. And there might be a fight breaking out in the bottom lane. Diablo might be a little bit far out, but they're focusing Stukov. He barely makes it out, but they do manage to get the bottom altar. Unfortunately, Popochas will not be able to take top. And he's also not going to be able to do much against that bruiser camp pushing top as well. So Popochas has a little bit of time here. They can wait for Deathstroke to contest the top lane. Popochas not going to be able to do much by himself up there. He is doing some damage to Rexar. Is he going to get the kill? No! The Brightwing teleport wasn't enough. Makes it out with 30 health. And they even managed to get their siege camp during that time. EXP is very even right now. A big Stukov silence, making it really hard for Deathstroke to get out of their front wall here. And Brightwing's coming back down. Popochas is on mid to catch the soak. They're just looking for that level 10 right now. Stukov silence is a huge burden. Nubrak gets picked. Leaning damage doesn't quite follow through. Looks like they're going to back off. Diablo's losing a lot of health right now. I don't know how much longer he can take this beating from Tychus. So they bring the Popochas down. They get the dragon. Diablo goes down. He did not have souls, it looks like. He did not. He was actually real close to having them. 90. So he's going to be on a full death timer. And they're going to start rotating up to catch the top soak. Deathstroke is about to hit 10. They do have their heroics now. Let's see what they do in the bottom lane. So we got Odin for Tychus instead of the drill. Adaptation for Popochas. So not trying to win that 1v1 against Rexar. I do think that just using the ISO, just having the ISO just to get that little bit of extra damage against Rexar can be really helpful, but he's not going for it. 10s have been picked up for Popochas, and they're looking to fight over the bottom lane. They do have to be careful, though, because a big A pocket is going to get cooled down. Brightwing teleport wasn't enough. Does Tychus go down? No! 9 health on Tychus. They just keep getting out by the skin of their teeth, but that was 2 kills to 0. Looks like Popochas are going to rotate down to the mid lane. Dahaka's going to try and come down, see if he can maybe interrupt it. I don't think this probably will work out for him. Tries to interrupt. He's going to take a bunch of damage. He does have ult. He does pop it, but gets bursted down so quickly. Definitely need to pop that ult a little bit earlier on Dahaka, especially when you're playing against Zul'jin and Li Ming. But he did delay long enough for the rest of his team to get back. Maybe contest the mid lane. Brightwing teleport comes in. Diablo with the flank on Gul'dan doesn't get the charge against the wall, unfortunately. And now we have a 4v4 team fight breaking out. Rexar is still soaking the top lane, pushing in a pretty decent amount. Zul'jin makes it out, but oh, the corruption does kill him. And the drag on Diablo, I don't think it'll be enough to kill him. He will make it out, but that is one kill for Deathstroke. And already Dahaka's rotating down to the bot lane. We got a Nubarak, probably a Brightwing to follow on top. They're trying to get control of these shrines. Meanwhile, though, Rexar has almost taken down the entire fort on top. And it looks like an invade on the siege camp here. Diablo's going to try and contest. I don't think it's going to work out for him. A big W from Li Ming. They do get the combo on Brightwing. She has a cleanse, and Diablo manages to take the camp back. Ooh, maybe a little bit of a slow rotation from Anubarak. He went top to try and contest the Rexar. Ended up coming back down once he saw that Diablo was contesting the siege camp, and it just wasn't quite soon enough. Popochas again trying to get the bottom beacon. They know that they have top. Rexar is still doing a lot of damage up there.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
So this bottom beacon is just the heavy contesting point for both of these teams right now. Rexar has killed the top fort. Hopefully that passive experience. Ooh. Cocoon goes down on Diablo. They do try and take the fight. Li Ming goes in for a reset. Doesn't get it. She's going to get blown up. Diablo's body blocked. He's going nowhere. But meanwhile, Rexar gets the DK. They lose 2 heroes and get another Dragon Knight. This is very similar to what happened with the first Dragon Knight. But that being said, even though they are losing all these heroes, it does seem like Popochas are getting way more structure damage than Deathstroke. Deathstroke barely ahead in the XP, but Diablo has lost souls now, so it will be a little bit more difficult for him to stay alive. Nubrak will make it out just fine. And honestly, the DK didn't do much. It got them the mid fort, and there they go onto Zul'jin, or Rexar, excuse me. He is going to make it out. Gul'dan doing a ton of damage. Odin has been dropped. And they're going to start sieging in bottom. Dahaka's top. He's getting them the soak. They're looking for 16. And they're going to back off. Gul'dan pretty low. Nubrak out of mana. Dahaka burrows down, gets kind of caught out. He does have his ult. Oh, what a great horrify on the Stukov. They'll probably get the Diablo for this as well, if I imagine. Diablo, quick throw. It feels like the Diablo is maybe being a little bit too aggressive, especially with no souls. He's on a full death timer right now. There's not much that Deathstroke can do on the map at the moment, but they are going to go down, maybe get this Bruiser camp down here. No, it looks like they'll just settle for the siege camp. They are a whole level ahead right now, so I wouldn't anticipate them to be incredibly aggressive. I think they're probably going to wait for 16, although Nubrak is trying to contest the Bruiser camp down there. He knows his team is coming. This is about to be a 5v4, 5v3 actually. Popochas has to be really careful. Dahaka with the flank. Li Ming takes so much damage from the corruption. Dahaka wants the kill, but he doesn't have the range to find it. And they do manage to take that Bruiser camp. Really good play by the Anubarak, just being a nuisance, making sure that they weren't able to take that camp uncontested. A huge drag on the bear. The bear will live. Misha. Rexar gets out just fine. 2 camps pushing in on the bottom lane. This is actually really scary. Dahaka pops his ult, goes in. And it does feel like this Diablo is being super aggressive. The APOC just whiffs on everybody, and he might get dragged again here. Ooh, the silence is going to deny it. And level 16 is here for Deathstroke. A really big power spike for Gul'dan, getting the Ruinous Affliction. And I really do think that that Popochas needs to figure themselves out right now. They're almost 2 levels behind at this point. They are not sending anyone to the other lanes to soak the experience. Top lane is just pushed out so far out, still from the beginning where Rexar was pushing, and they're going to get a keep front wall, back off, probably take the siege camp. And I imagine that Deathstroke will try and make a play for the Dragon Knight. A Nubrak, pretty low on mana. And I think Diablo knows that, and he's going in looking for a kill. Li Ming's trying to find her reset. The Stukov silence is there, and they actually do get it. Diablo will fall, but the siege camp goes to Deathstroke. And with the double global, Dahaka's on top, capping the altar. I imagine someone will come down for the bottom, and they're going to look for a Dragon Knight. They lost a Nubrak who was out of mana. He probably would have had to back anyway, so probably a really good trade for Deathstroke, to be honest. Even though they were a talent tier up and they went 1 for 1, they get a free Dragon Knight with their globals, and now they're going to push in the bot lane where they've done that structure damage already. And I think Gul'dan needs to start rotating maybe a little bit quicker with this DK. There we go. They do have to be careful here. They have no Nubrak. Looks like Dahaka's in the Dragon Knight. Kicks Misha out of here. Misha's going to come back. Probably going to be fine. And they're beating down on this keep. A Nubrak is respawned. He's on his way. Looks like they're probably just going to try and siege up this keep. The Echo Corruption is going to do a ton of work right now. He is completely stacked. DK is down, but so is the keep, and it looks like Deathstroke is getting out. They got what they wanted. They got that keep. They're going to let the catapults do that passive work that they want. Level 16 is finally here for Popochas, but I don't think they can really force a fight right now. It's surprising that Popochas is so far behind in XP. I mean, it is 9 kills to 4, but they have had 2 forts for a majority of the game down, and that passive XP is just not doing a whole lot for them. With the double global, Deathstroke is just able to soak the lanes a lot easier, get that experience here and there that Popochas is missing. Both teams are going to be starting to work on their bruiser camps. We are pretty close to level 20. I imagine Deathstroke won't fight until they're there. And they're just going to use their globals to get that experience. Both teams roaming as 5 right now. They do have a... Deathstroke does have an uncontested siege camp in the bottom lane that will have to be responded by at some point by Popochas, and it looks like they're rotating down, leaving Rexar in the top. But Deathstroke is also coming down to the bot lane. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe they're looking for a rotation. Look at Zul'jin. Watch Zul'jin. Oh, he catches it. Ooh, that could have been so bad.
Prepare yourselves, heroes. The shrines will soon.
Meanwhile, Diablo working back to get his souls. He's at 92 right now. So this is where Popochas wants to take a fight. The shrines are about to activate. Still 3/4 of a level away from Deathstroke's level 20. They need to look for something. Unfortunately, they're still split. They do need the XP to 20, so maybe they'll just be content with stalling until they get 20 and not try and look for a fight. Deathstroke gets their bottom bruiser camp. And looks like they're going to sit tight until they can get their level 20. The 4-man from Popochas is coming down. And Bruiser Camp up top is pushing into the keep front wall, but it won't get anything. Dahaka's there to clear it. Popochas knows that. I think they're going to look for a fight, especially because Misha has spotted the entire team. Oh, Rexar is getting caught out. Rexar, the Horrify. Ooh, maybe some tricky micro from Rexar. Didn't know where Deathstroke was. They were kind of just chilling in mid lane on that triangle. And now Deathstroke is looking for a team fight. They bring Dahaka down. He's looking for the drag. Minion wave gets in the way. The Nubrak charge. But they have got the bottom. Looks like Brightwing is going to maybe go top for the other altar. Meanwhile, 27 seconds till Rexar's back up. Popochas really need to figure something out. Looks like they're all rotating top. Maybe going to try and get a pick on this Brightwing. They don't know who's up here right now. She's been off the map for a really long time. Li Ming's gonna check. And Brightwing just takes a bunch of damage. Ooh, Gul'dan might get caught out too. There's a good cleanse. It was enough to keep him alive, and Popochas actually manages to stall out the DK. Rexar's still down, but this is the 5v4 fight we were scared about. The drag from Tahaka. So much damage from the Tychus Li Ming in the cocoon, but the Stukov ult will be enough to save her. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for Diablo. He will fall. And that is souls again. And man, it is so rough to lose souls on Diablo this late in the match. It's so hard to get them back. Zul'jin's trying to make a play on the top lane, but he will be okay. The Tazdingo will save him, and they're still trying to fight 4v5. Meanwhile, the bottom lane is now pushing out. They're about to get core damage. Deathstroke still looking for a team fight. Meanwhile, 3 catapults on the bot lane will have to be responded to at some point. Tahaka gets rooted, but a Horrify will take Diablo down again. Full death timer. And they end up getting Li Ming for their troubles as well. One will rotate up to grab the beacon. Brightwing's going to back for some mana. Meanwhile, Nubrak may be actually stepping a little too far out, underestimating the Rexar damage, but he's going to be okay. Both altars channeled. They are going to grab the Dragon Knight, and this should be game, to be honest. Still 2 down for 30 seconds for Popochas. I imagine they'll just run it straight bottom. And there they go. Gul'dan will follow. That being said, Popochas has finally found their 20. Dying breath from Diablo. He does seem to be dying a fair amount. Mildor, Monty Resilience from Zul'jin. And this is a very healthy 19-minute Dragon Knight. I don't imagine Popochas is going to be able to do anything about this DK. That being said, everyone's up. They have their level 20s. Repulsion from Li Ming might be able to do some work in this fight, but she gets bursted so quickly by the Gul'dan, and she barely makes it out with the Stukov D. But already the core is falling very, very quickly, and a big Horrify will add salt to the wound. And that's game 1, going to Deathstroke. Wow. I was actually really surprised by that. I think Deathstroke used their globals incredibly well. Maybe not as well as they could have, but they were smart about when they wanted to take fights. I think the Diablo play from